What's going on, friends? Harley-Davidson's air-cooled V-twin engines, they're just noisy motors in general. Most of these little knocks and ticks, these are perfectly normal, and others not so much. But there are some just basic everyday noises that can really get on your nerves after a while. If you're new to Harley-Davidson coming off a liquid-cooled motorcycle, you're probably wondering, what did I get myself into? And for those of you that have rode Harley-Davidsons for quite some time, you're pretty aware of what knocks and ticks are normal and the ones you should probably get checked out. Now, while we can't fix all these knocks and ticks within the engine, because these are just normal operation of a Harley motor, there is one knock and tick in particular that is extremely annoying, and we could actually do something about this one. But before we get into all that, please give the video a like if you enjoy it, and please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. The absolute most annoying noise on the Harley V-twin, whether it be a twin cam, a big twin Evo, a Sportster engine, it is that little tick from the top end that's coming from your rocker arms. There is a small gap on the rocker arm shaft in which your rocker arms pivot, and the bolt that is supposed to lock that shaft into place. There is a notch in the rocker arm shaft in which that bolt lines up with. The bolt is actually supposed to butt up against this little notch in the shaft, which keeps the shaft from rotating back and forth. Which doesn't exactly work as intended because the bolt actually leaves a little gap in that notch and doesn't completely butt up against that little notch in the shaft to tie everything together. This tiny little gap allows that rocker arm shaft to rotate back and forth slightly. It's actually making contact with the same bolt intended to lock that shaft down, which causes that very annoying little tick that we all seem to experience on our Harleys. Now, while the degree of tick really varies from bike to bike, and in some cases the amount of miles that are on the bike, it's not really detrimental to the engine, but it is detrimental to your sanity. Harley-Davidson's V-twin engines are built with much looser tolerances than liquid-cooled engines, which can lead to some noises that might be regarded as otherwise as unusual if you're not used to it. Now, water-cooled engines are built with much tighter tolerances since liquid-cooled engines are more able to consistently regulate the engine temperature. Now, Harley's air-cooled engines with much looser tolerances, everything has to be able to grow and expand. With the amount of heat a large air-cooled V-twin engine can produce, these parts have to have room to grow, literally. Because if they don't have room to grow, you're basically going to have sudden engine stoppage and there's going to be a bad catastrophic failure. There's always going to be some degree of knock and tick coming out of a Harley-Davidson V-twin engine, but it's that one particular one in the top end that just really gets annoying after a while. Some people have had really good luck with quieting that tick out by just changing the brand of oil that they're using. I personally have had really good luck with AMSOIL. AMSOIL has really quieted down that knock and tick on my bike, so I've been pretty fortunate there. Now, no two engines are alike, so when you go to changing oils, trying different brands, one brand may work on one bike, but it doesn't necessarily work too well on another engine, so sometimes just swapping oils may not be the cure for that little tick in the top of the motor. So first, you might try changing your oil brands around, try some different oils and different oil changes, see if you can find something that's going to work for you to try to quiet down the top end. Now, this is not guaranteed to work. This is just kind of the cheapest shot in the dark before we have to pull the top end off the bike. Now, you might have to try several different brands. One might work for you, or you just may never get it, and then it's going to be time for a little mechanical intervention. Enter the rocker locker, a simple, ingenious design that uses a hollow tapered brass bushing, which you simply press into place of where the bolt that holds the rocker arm support plate down would go. You use the bolt and the supplied washers and nut to get this thing installed. So when you go back together with the bike, you're actually going to be reinserting your bolt for your rocker arm support plate. This is going to go straight down through the center of that new brass bushing that you just pressed into place on your rocker arm support plate. The bushing itself is going to eliminate that gap you have between the notch in the rocker arm shaft and the bolt itself. So the bushing is actually going to press up against that notch in the rocker arm shaft. It's going to take out that gap and it's going to prevent that shaft from rotating back and forth, so you're not going to have that annoying tick. Not only are you not going to have that annoying tick anymore, but this is also going to center your rocker arm support plates much more accurately. This is very important, and this pays off in the long run by eliminating some of those weird, like irregular wear patterns that end up on your rocker arms, your valves, and provides a much better alignment for your push rods. If you've changed lifters, if you've changed cams, if you've tried adjustable push rods, you tried different oils, and you're still having that annoying tick, the rocker lockers are going to be a pretty inexpensive fix for you. Now, if you have other issues going on like noisy worn lifters, chains, gears, or bearings, that isn't going to help you at all, and you're still going to need to address those issues. Rocker lockers are very simple and easy to install. If you've been into your motor a time or two, it's probably actually going to take you longer to get your gas tank pulled, to get your rocker boxes tore apart, get those rocker arm support plates off, than it's actually going to be for you to install the rocker lockers into the support plates. If you've been into your motor before, then this is probably a good afternoon job. If you've never been into your engine before, but if you have a Harley service manual and you're following that to get it tore down to where you could actually get the rocker arm support plates off, I'd say you could probably do it in a weekend, taking your time. Now, once you get the rocker lockers installed, you get it all put back together, you're going to enjoy a much quieter engine, and it's also going to preserve your sanity. Now, I can only imagine what you guys are thinking right now. Why didn't Harley-Davidson just do this from the factory? Why did they let it go out like that? I'm just purely speculating here, but in my mind, knowing Harley-Davidson, it probably just came down to cost. The cost of adding these bushings to every single engine that rolled off the line, that's going to add up pretty quick when you consider the hundreds of thousands of engines that they produce every year. Now, given the fact that it doesn't really cause any detriment to the engine, so they didn't want to put the money into putting those bushings in there, trying to figure something else out, just a little top end tick, not necessarily going to hurt anything, let's just go ahead and send it on down the line. That is just purely my own speculation when it comes to why they didn't do it. But, you know, they've sent a lot worse things down the line and basically tested on their customers. Rocker lockers are going to run you about $25, and they do come with some very detailed instructions, which will help you along in getting those installed in your rocker arm support plates. You'll definitely want to have the Harley factory service manual. This will help you with getting your gas tank off, getting that top end of the rocker boxes pulled off. And not only that, when you got all those parts scattered out everywhere, just keep track of them, and the service manual, that'll help you get it back together. It's really hard to beat $25 to get your bike quieted down and make your ride a heck of a lot more enjoyable. So guys, if you're experiencing some of that rocker arm tick, you definitely might try switching over to some synthetic oil. You could try like Redline oil, Mobil 1, AMSOIL. There's a lot of different synthetic oils out there. They really do help quiet down the engine. Like I mentioned, I personally have had very good luck with AMSOIL in quieting down the motor. It actually eliminated that little top end tick that I was having on my bikes. So I got lucky there, and I didn't have to go as far to actually install a set of rocker lockers on my bike. But if you've tried different oils, or you've tried adjustable push rods, you've gone just about every route you can think of, try the rocker lockers out. That'll get that top end tick out of there for sure. Now, as I mentioned, if you got bad bearings, you got other issues going on the bike, rocker lockers are not going to solve that issue. Anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to drop a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And guys, if any of you are running rocker lockers out there, let us know in the comments. If you like them, did they help you out? Did they completely eliminate that tick? I want to hear your experience on it, and I'm sure a lot of other people that are interested in them would be wanting to hear that as well. Please stay safe out on the streets, dodge those cars, and I will catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.